was around 6 a.m. when I walked in the back of the Humanities building. It's Cal State Fullerton. I had 3 tests to cram for that day and wanted to try to get a little ahead of it. And as I was walking to the elevator, I saw some flashing red lights reflecting off the glass, and it looked like it was a police car or something. So I walked around the front and looked out in the courtyard, and there was a campus safety officer standing there looking at something. So I walked out to see what he was looking at, and I saw the lifeless body of a student there on the concrete who had just jumped off the roof. And I looked at the officer, and he looked at me, and we were both kind of in shock, and we kind of stumbled backwards into the elevator and went up to my classroom. There was nobody else around. The building was completely empty. I sat down and put my head on my desk, and I tried to just sort through what I had just seen. As the day wore on, I couldn't shake that picture of that student lying on the ground. And it just felt like death was following me. Later, when I got home, the woman that I was living with for the last 6 months had informed me that she was pregnant. A few days after that, she told me that she had had an abortion. And I was devastated. Finally realized my sin had caught up with me. But it wasn't me that paid the consequences for it. It was an innocent child. A few weeks or so after the abortion, our relationship broke up. And I remember going down to the beach, walking out on the sand and falling on my knees, just asking myself, how in the world did I get to this place? I felt like I had fallen into this pit and that there was no way out. And I felt utterly alone. I'd been falsely accused of taking drugs, and so I was fired from my job. My parents were out of state. I pretty much alienated myself from my friends. I had nothing. And as I sat there and thought about it, I realized, well, I didn't plan to do this. I mean, I didn't wake up one morning and say, today I'm going to ruin my life. It just happened. It was just one poor choice after the other. It was one moral compromise after the other. And slowly and methodically, over time, I ended up digging myself into this pit. It just drifted. It just happened. You know, I'm reminded of a verse in Galatians 6:7. It says, God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows. If he sows to please his sinful nature, he will reap destruction. And that's exactly what happened to me. I sowed and I reaped destruction. And the saddest thing of all is I knew better. I was raised in a Christian home. I knew right from wrong. I began a relationship with Christ when I was 12 years old. I even feel guilty about what I was doing. There wasn't a day that went by that I didn't feel badly about it. But I just let my relationship with Christ drift. I didn't nurture it. I didn't follow Christ. I wasn't intentional about it. And I found myself in this place, this pit. And so I prayed. I said, God, I'm at the end of myself. I'm in this pit and I can't get out. Will you throw me a rope? Will you forgive me? I've sinned. I've completely blown it. I need help. And so right there, I recommitted my life to Christ. I asked him to forgive me. I asked him for a new beginning. And from that moment on, my life was changed. 1 John 1:9 says that if we confess our sin, he is faithful and just and will forgive us of our sin and cleanse us from all unrighteousness. His forgiveness isn't given because we deserve it. It's given because he's faithful and he's just. That was 29 years ago. Today, I have no guilt, shame, or condemnation because of the forgiveness that I have found in Jesus Christ. You know, over the years that I've been a pastor, I've discovered that a lot of people think that their sin is the exception, that what they have done, God won't forgive. And I've had the privilege of being able to share my story with them to tell them that they're wrong. And you know, it's interesting as you read through Scripture, you discover that some of the greatest people in the Bible have the darkest pasts. Moses was a murderer. David was a murderer and an adulterer. David had a child that died because of adultery. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. We have a God of compassion, a God of mercy, a God of grace. And you can find that forgiveness through sincerity of confession. It's available for you. So I want to invite you, if you're looking for a new life, just to come to Jesus. You'll find more information on our website. It's just really a simple prayer. It's the sincerity of your heart. God sees your heart. We would love to come alongside of you in your journey. Below are some next steps that you can access. My email address is there as well. I would love to hear from you personally. We would love to be a part of this journey with you. So if there's anything we can do to help you, please let us know. Thanks for watching this. God bless you.